guest today's Allison Sweeney. We know her from so many different things, and that's my first question to ask you, Allison. You're so recognizable for doing so many different projects in your career. Isn't that true?
Well, I certainly have had a great career that I'm very thankful for, and it's been fun to be part of such I don't know, iconic shows that are part of the lexicon. Like Days of Our Lives. Everyone's heard of that show, and it's just cool that I get to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And I always will remember The Biggest Loser, you on The Biggest Loser, and what you did, and just other types of projects you constantly are doing, and the great things that are happening now. But we're going to go to the future, and Greg has some questions for you. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. Hey, Allison. It's nice to meet you
Okay,
and a
go Greg.
pleasure to speak with you.
Hi,
Hey,
nice to
tell,
meet you
tell
too.
us. Yeah, thank you. Tell us about your character in the Hannah Swenson mystery, the One Bad Apple.
My character Hannah is a baker who lives in Minnesota, and she's really good at baking cookies, and she has a lot of friends in town. But she also happens to have this strange skill set that when she usually is the one who finds the dead body, but she's also really good at figuring out who killed them.
Wow. And
So, it's an odd combination of skills, but she's figured it out, and she has this sort of, determination to get to the truth and wants to keep her town safe, get those murderers off the road and out of the streets, off the streets, and so she's out there solving crimes.
that's very interesting. And are you used to playing a character like this, or something new for you?
Well, I played this character. This is my ninth time playing Hannah Swenson, so we've made 8 previous movies about this character. And now I just love it. It's so much fun to me to get these movies underway and to do all the scenes. I get to do some stunts. I get to do some, there's some danger in it, and the crime-solving aspect is fun. I really enjoy playing this character. She's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember watching like the Columbo series way back, and this sounds like a modern day version of a very cool detective series. That pleasure to watch. I'm looking forward to it. So, Alice, let me
Oh,
ask you. Yeah. Okay. Cool. How challenging was it being both the star and the executive producer in One Bad Apple?
yeah, it was definitely challenging because you have to wear different hats, and as an actor, you sort of want to take your time and do another take of that scene, and I could be better if we did it like this. And as an executive producer, I'm thinking to myself, we gotta move along. Like we don't have time for this. We don't have the money for this. Get your actor that actor out of here. So I find that I drive myself pretty much. I'm always like the first person on set. I can't pull any of that diva attitude because I'm my own boss. I'm like, cut it out.
So you get the good angel, bad angel on your shoulders, right?
Yes, that's exactly it. But the fun thing for me on One Bad Apple was this is the first time I wrote the script myself.
Oh, wow.
So I've produced before and done that balance with acting before, but this is the very first time I'd written the entire script myself. And that was a huge undertaking. I was really nervous about it because I love these movies. I love murder mysteries. I like true crime. I follow a lot of true crime. So I really wanted to make it good, the clues and solving who did it. So I stressed myself out writing this, and then still wanting it to be cute and fun with these characters. I hope people like it. I'm so nervous.
No, I'm sure they will. So someone else wrote the other movies that you were in this series. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Mostly, I hire a writer, and they write script writers. Really talented people write all the movies I've been in, and then this is the very first time I've written one myself.
Which whodunit author, or movies, really captured you to get you interested in this? And how old were you? Like,
Oh, I read every Nancy Drew book when I was little. I loved Nancy Drew was my favorite, and I would read them again and again. When I got older, my mom and I would watch Agatha Christie. We read Agatha Christie. We would watch those movies, when they would make a movie about it
yeah.
together. Columbo was also my favorite from the 80s when I was a kid. I loved Columbo.
And you see these other ones that are funny, like let's say, the Pink Panther and other ones. It's just so funny. Just how
Pink
you try.
Panther's classic.
And
Yeah.
then you think, and then you even think about murder mystery. You think of all, Clue. All of us played Clue at one point in time as well. So it kind of relates to how popular. I'm sure you're a Clue fan, right?
Oh yeah, and the original movie Clue, like with Tim Curry.
Yeah.
My brothers and I watched that. I cannot even count for you how many times I've watched that movie. I mean, easily 20 times, 30, 50 times. Like, I've watched that movie so many times. I love it so much. So yes, this genre has always captured my interest. I've always loved it.
Do you like the new take on those Clue movies, like the Knives Out, those two that came out most recently?
I did actually. I liked Knives Out, but you know what? It was actually really good. I really liked it. But what I love is Only Murders in the Building. Have you watched that with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez? I love that series so much. I can't stand it. I love it.
Oh, that's great. And so when you talk about specifically your character, what's the premise of this movie compared to the other movies? Because again, it's another clue to discover. You talked a little bit about it, but talk about everyone else.
Okay, so there is a series of novels that these movies are based on, written by Joanne Fluke, and she has 30-plus books that she's written about this character, Hannah Swenson, and each of them is based on a recipe. So the book was called Apple Turnover Murder, and so I like to incorporate apples, to honor the original novel in my movie. So you'll see lots of apple little apples throughout the entire movie, and apple recipes throughout the movie, and then the murder. I think what I really like about this one is I think the murder is going to be surprising. It isn't exactly the traditional format of, like, right away you find a dead body and then you spend the whole movie figuring out who did it. In this one, we're going to spend a little bit of time figuring out who is going to get murdered, because, I just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit. And then you have to figure out who did it. So there's sort of a double punch here.
Well, do you have the Hannah Swenson How to Use Apples 100 Different Ways for Desserts book coming out soon?
I should do that, because there are so many different ways to use apples. But yeah, no, it's pretty fun to work with these books that Joanne Fluke wrote, because she has all these recipes in them, and the prop department makes the recipes, like the for real recipes from the book, and then we're on set, like, I'm using them in the scene, and then when I step backstage, the crew is eating all my props, and like, wait, where'd all the cookies go? We have to make more cookies.
Now, thinking of that executive, thinking about that executive producer role that you wear and also acting on set, how do you keep the rest of the crew, especially the other actors, really engaged and be a family? Because we all know any movie that's shot or any television show, it's all about the camaraderie.
Yeah, and this one has that, like, without even trying. The group of us all get along really well. We have so much fun working together. Everyone is so funny and just always adding something to the scene, always with a great attitude and just wanting to make the movie better and have good ideas. So I'm really blessed. This is like such a wonderful group of. You have to watch. I posted an outtake from this movie on my Facebook and my Instagram yesterday, and it people kept commenting. I mean, I was dying laughing when we were filming the scene, and so I just had to share it with everybody, because it was really hard to get through the scene without giggling. And that's just a small taste of what it's like working with this group.
Well, let's just switch gears for a quick moment. Talk about something a little bit, more personal and maybe dear to your heart. I've noticed that you love to give back with organizations and charities and so on. Which initiatives are you most passionate about, and why did you choose those?
Well, I work with Stand Up to Cancer, which is, obviously for so many great reasons, an incredible organization that takes the money people donate and really turns it around and spends it on like actual research, actually helping people, actually making the families' lives, tolerable while they're taking care of their loved one. What they're doing is really wonderful and important. So Stand Up to Cancer is a great organization. I give my time and money and attention to, and they really have been. And I think we all know people who have lost someone to cancer, and it's just so important to help fight it.
Right.
Absolutely. And then that's the powerful thing about giving back and knowing where you're at, and then being part of those initiatives in so many ways, Allison, for sure. What's any other projects going on right now for you that you can talk about?
Well, you caught me here in Vancouver, and I am filming another project, which I cannot talk about. So, but just know there's more to come. I want the Hallmark fans to know that we're always busy coming up with the next ideas, and so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to keep thinking about more mysteries I want to make, more rom-coms. Got a lot going on.
All right, Greg, go ahead with your next question you ask every celebrity. Go ahead.
All right, here it comes. Here's my final question, Allison. And it's been a real pleasure to get to know you and have this conversation. This question is going to be very impactful for everybody who's listening, including myself and Neil. So tell me, Allison, what do you feel is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
Wow. Oh, way to hit that's a very important question. You just sneak up on people with that. I guess the most important thing I've ever learned, my mind is all over the place. I would say
always difficult when you're caught off guard on a question like something like
that. I was trying to be really deep. I'm trying to think of a really deep and meaningful answer for you, but it's very early in the morning. And so I guess never give up. I'm not a quitter. You don't win if you don't try.
I think that's powerful because that's so important, especially with the things that actors have had to go through in the last couple of years, right? From COVID to the actors strike, to the writer strike, to the actors strike. And it's just, never give up because the opportunities are going to come again. Right. And are you seeing it?
Well, yeah. And that if you give up now, you're definitely not going to do it. If you quit on yourself, then for sure it's not going to happen. Nobody's coming around spoon feeding you opportunities. They're not bringing it to you. You got to go make that happen for yourself. And if you quit, then it's never going to happen.
That's all right, Allison. I had a chance to speak to Ice-T in Carnegie Hall, and I asked him the same question. You know what he said is, look, nobody wakes up with your dream.
Powerful.
Oh, that's great too.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Real what you were just saying. Yeah.
There's some powerful ones, but everyone needs to tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, to One Bad Apple, a Hannah Swenson mystery. Thanks again. We appreciate it, Allison.
By the way, my backup answer was going to be brush your teeth.
All right. Thanks, Alice. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
All right. So that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and